The Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all very much. Please be seated. For those of you that may join our streaming service, we are starting a little bit late. We had a work session. If you wanted to see that, it will be posted, so you can go back and check that out. This is the regular November 2023 Richland and Bean Boston Community School Corporation Board of Trustees meeting. And please let the record reflect that Mr. Tuckler, Mr. Durnall, Mr. DeMoss, and Mr. Kerr are present this evening. And were there any visitors who wanted to make comments this evening? No? Okay. Then we'll move straight to the Mustang moment. And Dr. Sanders, take it away.
Yes, you know, we have a lot to brag about tonight, so I hope the people watching, they're going to be on the edge of their couch throughout the evening, because we have great kids to celebrate. And you know, it's I enjoy going to the band competitions. What I try to do throughout the years, the season, is I don't want to know what they're going to do at the state competition at the beginning of the season, because I get so excited to see when they added a new part, a new piece, and new costumes. I mean, it's always changing. And then when we get to the state competition, you know, all year long especially this year, I heard this is the best performance that they've seen our band perform. And that's a band who has won several state championships. And so we get down to the actual competition, and I'm sitting there now in the crowd, and I'm watching each band perform, knowing how good our band is, but watching all these other bands and who are all pretty good themselves. And to think that we're going to win another state championship, you still get nervous. You guys still get nervous? You know, and each one, for me personally, and I just get to go and enjoy. I don't do the hard work, but I get to go enjoy. But each one is more special than the one before. So I'm going to bring Dirk up, and he's going to introduce our band director.
Yeah, it was, I told Aaron tonight, Aaron Wells, our band director, of course, at a meeting that I personally thought this was the best show. But Aaron, how many times have I said I think this is the best show yet? I think I say that every year. So we actually have a special team, and I'm going to brag not only on Aaron, but also Derek. You got to have somebody at the top, and I think you think about sports and you think about the great head coaches, and Aaron is a great head coach, but boy, he put a great supporting staff around himself. Matt, and of course Kurt at the junior high, and Derek. Derek's the design of the show is mostly Derek, and Aaron can tell you that. But it's just really, they're a great team, and they get the most out of students, incredibly so. And the way they work with the kids is just outstanding. So it was another exciting year. The bonus is one of my favorite rock groups of the '70s was ZZ Top, and we get the little bit of experience in Edgewood High School of ZZ Top. So that's just kind of a bonus of it. But no, I just want to say I can't say enough great things about the program, about the directors, and the team. The camaraderie of the entire group, and the parents. They couldn't do it without the parents. So, but just, I commend them, I congratulate them, and ask them to come up and talk a little bit about the show. They didn't know I was going to put them on the spot.
I'll talk well. Be short that way. Yeah, there you go. Our goal as a staff when we go to create shows yes, we want it to be entertaining. Yes, we want it to be challenging, but we also want to have a lesson, like a lesson or a theme that they learn every season. So this year was called Transient, and it's not a homeless person. I had to correct Mr. Kaler. He's like, we're doing a show about unhoused people. I'm like, no. But it's about everything is not permanent. Everything is fleeting. And especially when you're younger and you think you're invincible and time moves, it's not permanent. And trying to express that to them and let them learn that lesson throughout the course of the season. You know, at the start of the season, it's a long season. It's 4.5, 5 months of hard work. It seems like forever at the beginning, but then you're crying at the end of the season because, oh my gosh, it's over. And teaching kids that it's important to stop sometimes, take a step back, be reflective in the moment, and to enjoy the experience, enjoy the camaraderie, enjoy being with each other, because everything will move on. And we, you know, our activity is divided, segmented. Every season is different. It's a different group of people. It's a different team, a staff. Like some of us old guys have been around forever. But faces change, the vibe, the energy shifts from year to year, and to really take that into account and enjoy the moment. And I think the kids especially resoundingly responded to that in a very big way this year. And our success, I think I speak for Mr. Wells in this, is it's one thing to have student buy-in, it's one thing to have parent buy-in, it's one thing to have administrative buy-in. But I think the reason we experience the success, it's not just the school board that we get support from, it's our entire community. And stuff like this is special for Ellettsville, Richland Bean Blossom, because the community is fully bought in. And we would not experience that success without you guys, the community, our administrators, our students, our parents. And we could thank, you know, business partnerships we have, sponsorships. We could talk for hours and hours of all the people we can thank, but I think for time saving, thank you. Like it wouldn't happen literally without every single person in this community.
Thanks, nice job. My twin brother, actually. So to kind of like piggyback on that, like I kind of know we've made it big when Starbucks opened early for us at 4 o'clock in the morning to make coffee. And when I heard that, I was like, it's going to be a good day. So I'm really sorry. I was really sorry about all the people that had to hear us play at 4:30 in the morning, but it turned out okay. You know, kind of what Derek said, like, you know, one of the things that I find really great, and I will say that and use it, is Saturday I got a chance to go up and present to a room full of music educators. And they all asked me, you know, I was at a table and they all came around and asked me questions. And one of the questions was, well, how are you so successful? And I said, well, you got to have a Derek, and you got to have a Matt, and you've got to have a Kurt, and you got to have a Tim. And they're like, well, how do we find those people? And I'm like, you just become friends with them, like when in your early 20s, and just hope that something great like this happens, because that's really what has happened. Like Derek and Kurt and Tim and Matt and I have been together forever. And it, you know, that just the process of us being together forever, working here with Mr. Ackerman, and you know, being able to say, like, I have a principal that I've worked with 20 years. Like, almost didn't happen if Brad didn't decide that, you know, that one day he's like, I don't want to work with this new band director, so I'm going to go sell insurance. So I'm glad you went that route. It seemed like it worked out for everybody in the room. But it, you know, it's been a great 20 years building this thing. And to say that we've done it 4 times in a row now, let alone just say we've done it once, is extremely impressive. And on behalf of myself, Mr. Kaler, who's right now getting ready to fire up a great rendition of Hot Cross Buns at a 6th grade concert. He wished he could be here, but on behalf of myself and the team, we like to tell everyone in here and everyone who's watching, you know, it's great for us to bring it back, bring a state championship back for the school, but it's also great to bring it back for the city and the town of Ellettsville, because like that's a lot to see all the signs and all the people hanging out on the streets as we drive home, and to get police escort to bring us back. And the kids, I think they're kind of like me. I don't think they've really realized what they've done. Like that's, it's been a week and I'm still like, I was in Lucas Oil Saturday going, hey, I remember I was here last week. What happened? I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. And so I wanted to, just take a second and on behalf of myself and the team, just say thank you. So, thank you.
Okay, well, he's right. We have a wonderful community, and that's what makes being a part of the school system honestly so easy, because we're all here for the kids, we're all here for the community, and, so we just really appreciate those who hang around with us and stick with us and help take us to really cool places. Okay, we'll move to the consent agenda. Back to business. We have approval of minutes on October 21st, 2025 was the collective bargaining public hearing. Then on October 21st, 2025 was our regular school board meeting, which followed. And then October 29th, 2025 was our special meeting. In financial, we have the treasurer's report in our packet for October of 2025. And Mr. Durnall, the claims, please.
Thank you, sir. I present gross wages on October the 10th, 2025 for $880,298.75. Gross wages on October 24th, 2025, $740,567.71 for a total of $1,620,866.46. For vouchers, October 1st to October 31st, $1,220,824.42. For claims and vouchers for November the 18th for $949,176.48 for a total of $2,170,090 for a grand total of $3,790,867.36. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And we also have personnel. Resignations, retirements, non-renewals, leaves, and terminations, C1 through 23, and personnel appointments and transfers, D1 through 16. We are excited to report that we have 2 donations. One is $100 to Ready Schools Initiative from Robert and Natalie I'm sorry? Cratchit. Okay. And, sorry. And we also have supplies to Mrs. Truax's classroom from Donors Choose. So do we have a motion on the consent agenda?
I move approval of the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And next, there is one supplemental personnel report, and we'll turn to Dr. Sanders for that.
Yes, this is something that the board's familiar with. We do background checks on each and every employee that we hire in the school corporation, and when we get those background checks back, if there's something on there that we feel like the board needs to be aware of, we make sure that you know the situation, that you have a copy of the background check, and we're required by law to hire that person through a supplemental personnel report such as this tonight. So,
we have a motion.
I move approval of the supplemental personnel report. A second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Now we have our construction report, and so we have Martin Truesdale, and come up. Are you going to go together or no? Okay.
Rick just handed me this. Let me make sure I'm able to move through it. Okay. This is our November school board meeting construction update. We've got quite a few balls in the air right now. Dale did such a wonderful job getting the early childhood center together on time. And we're trying to close out as well as we started on that. So I'll start real quickly with early childhood. And I did that just because I love that picture. That's looking out of the lunchroom at the early childhood. Heather's not here. Heather has done some punch on her own. She's gotten a list to Dale, which is real helpful. We're trying to get all the punch list stuff closed out as quickly as possible. Again, I think she brought that in maybe a week or two ago. So we'll get that incorporated. And Dr. Sanders has admonished us that we need to move quickly with the punch, and so we're going to do everything we can to get that. The field house, right now we have finished the logo in midcourt in the field house, and I've got a picture of that as we get in here. We're pushing to get that one done also. Talked to the general trades contractor today. They've got the logo, then they've got to put a color coat in the three-point line. I think they've finished that. And then they've got to put a couple clear coats on it. The couple clear coats should be done by Thursday. We don't want anybody out there Thursday, but by Monday, it'll be set enough for people to be on. Not sure, Rick, that we want people in there at that time, but as soon as Dale's up in a tree right now, in his tree stand trying to get some deer, and he said he'd bring me some jerky, so I let him do it. But we're pushing on that. We should have everything. Rick's been jamming out there, getting the technology pieces and cameras, and I think you're coming pretty close on all that stuff at this point. So I'm thinking next week is Thanksgiving. By the time we get back from Thanksgiving, we ought to be able to let Dirk get in there. We think. As far as the finishes on the floor and that type of thing, it'll be ready. It'll be usable as of Monday. Next Monday. While I'm in there, I'll go ahead and I haven't been reading through these at the board, so I'll let you guys take a look at it. It says started the logo. We've finished the logo. Dr. Sanders, I think you looked at that and told Dale move forward with it.
Yeah.
So we'll get that finished up. Again, I'm not going to read all the individual things. There's your new casework, your storage cabinets, the bleachers, which are on the west side of the gym. That's your red track. The red has some modeling to it. We're going to go ahead and let you use it, some discoloration to it. We'll go ahead and let you use it, and then we'll come back probably at Christmas and put another coat of red down, but it's usable now. There's your darker tone in your three-point line. There's the logo as it looked when Tanisha took pictures a couple days ago. That's been peeled off, and Dr. Sanders, I think it looks good.
Looks good.
Toilet rooms for the field house are pretty well finished up. So I said complete gym floor logo. Really what we've got to do is complete the finishes and then turn over for use. And again, Rick's been pushing to get his technology stuff together out there.
The Mustangs on the wall, the herd of Mustangs.
Yes, the one of them got much darker in the last,
taken care of.
since we met last.
Yeah, looks good.
High school renovations, we're working on Phase 9 drywall. Like I say, Dale's up in a tree this week, so he's a little bit out of touch. Tanisha, my right-hand person, has been out here taking care of the trailer, and she'll be out here all this week. She feels, Rick, pretty good about Phase 9 being done the end of this week. We'll talk about that a little more as we get into the week. We did get some furniture delivered, and we're working around that right now. We've got to get the flooring done. Kitchen, look, Vicky's not here either tonight. Vicky met with the Board of Health. The Board of Health has given their go-ahead. We do have a glitch at the dishwash machine, but the Board of Health said we can use it using the 3-compartment sink for washing. I'm sure Vicky's not going to want to do that, but we do already have the Board of Health approval on it. That's been sent over to the town of Ellettsville. The indication we got from them was as soon as they got the Board of Health, we'd get the occupancy. So they got that, I think, yesterday. So we should have occupancy pretty soon. Rick's been also out there trying to get his point of sale and some other things going. So I'm, again, hoping right after Thanksgiving we ought to be able to get that turned over. This is your Phase 9, the new conference room, which has 2 great east-facing windows in it. Tanisha took a picture of the drywall, which I included. I'm not really sure why, but here's your new kitchen, so you can see it's substantially complete. There's still, I don't think it shows here, there's still a front piece that needs to go on one of the stoves. There's a valve, a pressure-reducing valve for the stove, which should have gotten installed today. And there's, again, as I said, there's actually a valve in the dishwasher. They have the valve, we got to get it installed.
Conference room.
Conference room is at the front, so if you go in the other fax room, the non-cooking fax room.
Oh.
You know, so it's the front 2 windows.
Okay, thank you.
And it's a nice big space.
It is
Yeah.
a nice space, we really
Yeah,
need that.
I was back in the kitchen. I couldn't figure out where I was.
No, we didn't have the conference room in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So Phase 9, we've got to finish it and turn it over for use. We got to complete the kitchen, turn over for use. We are ready. We've got our general contractor ready to start doing demo on the old kitchen, but we want to make sure Vicky's comfortable and has moved in and is comfortable serving out of the new one. We had tentatively scheduled that for this coming Monday, but it will be pushed back at least a week from that. Once we start the conversion, hopefully we'll knock that out in about a month, converting the existing kitchen. Primary school's complete. We have the lion's share of the punch list. There may be a couple things, but we're honing in on those as hard as we can. Same thing with the intermediate school. It's complete and in use. Early Childhood Center, the playground. You all approved that, the bids last meeting. We've sent the contract to the contractor. They have it, and they're starting to compile their submittals. We did a pre-construction meeting out on site with the contractor and walked the site so they know what's going on. We expect to see submittals before too long. The schedule for the playground is going to be very weather dependent. We've got a couple things that are going on there. The asphalt, there's an asphalt track around the playground. We've got to wait for the asphalt plants to be open. And the other thing is the surfacing, the soft surface on the playground. I believe it's got to be 40 and rising or something to that effect to install that. So we've got a couple weather-dependent things. Again, I met with Kreider & Kreider is the contractor, and they indicated they'd like to get it going as quick as they can. Before they do anything, we've got to fence it all in because we're right up against the existing playground. And I guess this is the stuff I just talked about, the next 30 days. Corporate-wide roof replacement. Arnold's left too. Arnold and Misha and Russ, who's our testing guy, he's doing cores, and he's gonna moisture test it, walked the roof 3 weeks ago. Russ has been out, he's done cores. We actually core all the different areas to see what the existing construction is. We need to know that for a couple of reasons. One is, are we running into any kind of issues that we need to pick up? The other is where we do demo, the contractor needs to know what he's demoing. All of the cores have been done at the high school, junior high school, and both elementary schools. We do need to do a thermal scan at the high school. We're hoping that will get done in the next couple of days. I know Misha and his guys are already working on that. They're getting the plans together. One thing we do need him to help us with is, or to put together is, the north area of the high school, the large area on the north side, which is kind of discolored in the photograph, is dead flat, and we're going to have to add some drains to it. And those drains are going to be, they're going to be interesting to see how we do that. So we completed the cores, started the moisture testing, and we're moving on the thermal scan. We also need to verify the existing through-wall flashings we do. When we walked with Arnold, he pointed out at the junior high school, the high bay, which is your gym, it leaks around the perimeter of the high bay. That's usually a sign of water coming in through the brick and not getting properly flashed out before it can enter the building. So we've got some roofing to do. We've also probably got some flashing to do. And our guy Russ is looking at that right now. We need to get another estimate to you. And Misha right now and his crew are compiling the construction drawings. We will probably come to you, and we need to check this with Misha next month for a approval to send it to bid. And I think on your website it doesn't show a December board meeting, but I think it's a third Tuesday.
Yeah, it'll be December 16th.
So I'll be here in 4 weeks to talk about getting your permission to go ahead and bid that. Went through that quickly. That's what I've got for now. Again, we're going to push, and Rick's pushing us, and Rick's got a lot going on as far as his technology to get the kitchen and the field house to you as quickly as we can, and then we're beating on the contractors for the punch as hard as we can. So that's where we are.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
Any questions on it?
No, thanks so much.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Martin.
it.
Thank you, Victor, for coming down.
Thank you very much.
Good report. Next is consideration to approve the classified handbook updates, and we have Susan Chalkney for that this evening.
Hi. We typically don't put through the classified handbook updates until usually the spring, but there were a couple things that we wanted to get on the agenda or in the handbook. And so I took advantage of that to go ahead and gather some of the other pieces that we had out there that were already approved but not in the handbook, and went ahead and added that to that. And you can see those revisions there in that first list. And the newly proposed revisions would just be a title change for some of the child care workers working that aren't actually latchkey. The culinary skills specialist, adding language to approve 11 paid leave days per year. And I did notice that I have a typo on the memo there for the part-time central office assistant who's working 12 months out of the year. She doesn't earn vacation days, but we would like to get her 12 paid leave days per year, so she has 1 day off per month if she wanted to take that. So those are the revisions, and then they're all, you can see on the following pages, the classified handbook, and they're highlighted there. That's what I have.
Thank you. We have a motion on the handbook.
I move approval of the classified handbook updates.
A second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Now it's consideration to approve stipends for support staff, and Dr. Sanders is going to lead us.
Yes, and if you remember, this kind of really goes back to bargaining with the Teachers Association and looking at where we are as a school corporation financially, and what can we do to reward people for their hard work, but at the same time put ourselves in a good position financially to give increases down the road in terms of for the teachers step on the salary schedule or increase the base, hourly increases. We want to get ourselves into a position where we could do that. So started with the teachers, as you know, the teachers, all the teachers will get a $2,000 one-time stipend. We're going to talk about the principals in a minute, but really we looked at all of our classified staff and wanted to give them a certain percentage of that of what the teachers got as a one-time stipend for the 25-26 school year. And these stipends were established through a comprehensive review process which considered many factors, including each position's current rate of pay, whether the person was full-time or part-time, number of days worked, their duties that were assigned, whether their position required a licensing or certification, and in some cases, we did look at elevated certain stipends based on that reflected the nature and scope of that position's responsibilities and duties, and we just then took just an overall look at it and said and we looked at each position, is this fair? Is this appropriate? And so we share with the board there's all the different positions that are classified and the stipend that each person would get. The board was given that information. We're going to pay out all these stipends, the teachers, the administrators, classified staff, in a special paycheck on November 28th. And so everybody will get that stipend all at one time. I'll just go ahead and tell you the total cost. So for classified staff, stipend plus benefits, the total amount was $107,971.54. The $2,000 stipend for teachers plus benefits came to $438,141. And for administrators, they'll be getting the $2,000 stipend also, similar to the teachers, plus benefits, came to $39,831 for overall total cost of $585,943.54. And this will, like I said before, the purpose of going the stipend route this year is to put ourselves in a really good, strong position financially to move forward in giving increases like we traditionally have in the past.
Okay,
I'll move approval of the stipends for support staff.
I'll second.
moved and seconded. Any discussion? I appreciate the long discussion you and Susan and I had going through how that process worked, and I really think that you guys did a very fair, look at it, and so I really appreciate the time it took to do that.
I appreciate that, and it's really a testament of, how we're operating now in our office. And, Susan, shockingly, has just been amazing, and she did a lot of that hard work. And then we had great conversations with Debbie Tate and Jennifer Barrett, myself, and Paul, and just took a very careful look at everything. So thanks, Dana.
Nothing further? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Hope they all enjoy November 28th. Next is consideration to approve administrative contracts.
Yes, so we chose to go a contract. By the way, the teachers, they sign a status quo contract at the beginning of the school year. And since there wasn't an increase in the base, or nobody took a step, checking with Christine, those status quo contracts cover for this year, except if somebody moved a column based on getting their master's, specific situations like that. But most teachers the status quo contract they signed at the beginning of the year will cover for this year. The principals, we give them a 2-year contract, so we included the stipend in their contract and then extended their contract not only for the 25-26 school year, but 26-27 school year. And so the administrators will be signing new contracts. That'll be for Dirk Ackerman, Jordan Key, Jenna Clark, Kent Retzler, John Siglin, Andy Scholl, Katie Key, Matt Wooden, Elisa Van Dusen, Heather Kenzick, Jerry Bland, Sam Jones, Noah Dixon, Megan Scott, Mariah Bruce, Jordan Truax, and Jennifer Barrett.
Thank you. Do you happen to have the total for the stipends for that?
Yeah, that was, I mentioned that a minute
Oh, okay.
ago. The total for them was, benefits and everything was $39,831.
Perfect. Okay. Do I have a motion?
I'll move approval of the administrator contracts. Yeah.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Dr. Sanders, is every administrator now on the same contract, the 2-year renewal?
Yes.
So everybody, even the ones that started this year, this will start another one? If somebody was hired to do a position at the start of this school year, does that automatically kick in another year?
No, it's this year, 25-26 and 26-27.
Okay. All right. All right, thank you.
Anything further? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And now we have consideration to approve the 2026-27 and 27-28 school calendars. Oh my goodness. Time does fly. Dr. Sanders.
Yeah, there's nothing earth-shattering here. They're pretty much the same calendar that we do every year. I'm asking you to approve the 26-27 as our official calendar for next year. I'm asking you to approve the 27-28 calendar as tentative because IU has not released their spring 2028 spring break dates yet. So I put them where they normally would be, but because there could be a change, I'm calling that as a tentative contract. And it's been reviewed by the Teachers Association and our principals.
I move approval of the school calendars.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I do notice that we are cutting back to the, on the teacher workdays.
Yes.
Which is kind of a step backwards, but I understand why.
Yes. Thank you for bringing that up, Larry, because I meant to mention that. Yeah, we moved up to 185 days, and I thought that was a really good thing for us to do for our teachers. But with the course of state coming in and causing us some financial issues, we're looking for ways to cut back on our expenses. And so that'll save, going from 185 days to 183, will save us $130,000 a year.
So they get 2 more days off, but they lose those days in pay.
Yeah, we added those as work days just because, you know, everybody knows how hard teachers work and how, if you're a teacher, you just know you're working evenings, weekends.
Part of the summer.
What's that?
Part of the summer.
Oh, yeah.
And part of the summer. And it was kind of my goal to try to address that. I'm disappointed that we're to this point, but it just seemed like a way that we could reduce some expenses without hurting people too much.
Okay.
Those flex days, now that we're able to receive that waiver, that does help with that
Yes.
a little bit. When we went to 185 days, that was before we started using the waiver for flex days. It's still not ideal. Having both was the best case scenario there, but having those days built in through the year for teachers to be able to receive professional development, work in their PLCs, curriculum development, things like that. We still have those built in. Unfortunately, it's just not the 2 extra that are usually beginning and some of those other
And
pieces.
we also extended delayed start Wednesdays to an hour.
Yeah.
Okay. Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now we're on to surplusing used monitors, and we have our tech director, Rick Broughton.
All right, so this evening I brought to you the request to surplus about 50 monitors. This is what we counted. They are part of our capital replacement of computers for the staff, and we usually just put them in the recycle bin and send them off to be recycled, but there is a fee to that. That's $10 per monitor. I'm sort of trying to offset it a little bit this time. When it's 1 or 2, not a big deal, but when you're looking at 50 monitors, that's a pretty hefty bill. So I was going to try to put them on our government surplus site, try to get some money out of them, let someone else come and pick them up, get them out of our hair. And this will be in 2 different lots because we haven't completed our process, but lot 1 is ready to go. Matter of fact, I want it out of my office. And then lot 2 will come as soon as we get the other installation completed, but I figured I could just come to you with the total number of what we're trying to get rid of. So I'm just asking for your permission to surplus 50 old used monitors.
I move approval of the surplusing of the used monitors.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
I'm just kind of surprised we have that many monitors still
Right.
floating around.
There's more. We just haven't hit you for the others yet.
I know, I guess I do see them occasionally. It's almost all laptops now.
Yeah.
Okay. If nothing further, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now we will have a public hearing on additional appropriations, and I'll turn that over to Paul Federer to get us started.
I could say I'm back. I think we did this a month ago, and if you recall, it was, I believe, 600,000. And I want to spend a little time as to why we're doing this. This is unusual to do it a second time, but part of the problem here is that I'm not here, and that's been a little bit difficult in this process. when you look at your cash flow, if you find it for just a second, if you look down in the lower right-hand corner, where in the second to the last line, it says remaining appropriation, and there's a $226,000 figure there,
Right.
clear on the right-hand side, that's 1% of your budget. That's how much appropriation you have left at this point in time. That is too close for comfort. What typically happens when you get into November and especially December, somebody forgot to submit an invoice, whatever, and you spend a little more money in December than you anticipated, that might not cover it. My best guess is we'll be okay, but it's too close to call. And I don't want to get into December and have to start picking and choosing what bills we pay because we don't have the appropriation. So we advertised back on the 5th of November. We gave a notice to the paper like we did a month ago that we were going to add an additional $650,000 to this appropriation. So this is the resolution you'll sign tonight if you approve it. And we've done all that. We've waited the 10 days. So this is the evening that we would have the public have a chance to ask questions about it if there are any questions, and I can address that with people. And then after that, we'll have the resolution and pass it. My apologies for doing it twice. I didn't plan on that. Never have done that. But at the same time, I've never worked one day a week. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. And it'll work. You have the money. This is just a process of getting more. I think I told you a month ago, your budget really was too small. When you looked at 23 million in revenue and a budget at 20 million, that's easily $1 million, $1.5 million too short. And had it been up there at 21 million, someplace in there, we wouldn't be doing this at all. Right. So, that's kind of why we're here.
Okay. After that explanation, I will open the public hearing on additional appropriations. Is there anyone who would like to comment at this time? Hearing none, I will close the public hearing on appropriations. And so our next item would be to approve the additional appropriation resolution.
Okay, this is a resolution I do want to read to you. I think that's proper. Whereas the proper officers of the Richland Bean Blossom Community School Corporation of Monroe County, Indiana, have determined that it is now necessary to appropriate more money for the calendar year 2025 than the amount that was fixed by the Richland Bean Blossom Community School Corporation and finally determined in the annual budget under Indiana Code 6-1.1. Whereas notice was duly given to the public in accordance with that for a public hearing on the proposed additional appropriation, and a public hearing was held on November 18th, 2025 by RBB. Therefore, be it resolved by the Richland Bean Blossom Community School Corporation of Monroe County, Indiana, that a need now exists for an additional appropriation out of the following funds and for the purposes specified, subject to laws governing the same. So it's coming from the education fund. It is $650,000. We may have $650,000 left at the end of the year. That's okay. There's another advantage to that. Now you can encumber some of that into 2026. Okay.
I'll move approval of the resolution for the additional appropriation.
I'll second.
Move it. Second. Any discussion? Thank you so much for a thorough explanation of that. We really appreciate it. So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Now we move on to the business manager's report. So Paul's still up here.
Back to the cash flows. I don't have a lot to say about that. I think that going forward, you know the appropriation problem, just pointed that out. The other problem is on the right-hand side of that education fund, down toward the bottom, where you see the 500 and I think it's 80,000. don't have my reading glasses.
560, yeah.
560,000, that's in the hole. That means you've spent $500,000 more than we took in, so that's the problem here. That's the problem going forward. That gets into this 2 days you just took away, because we've got to find $500,000. That's what we've got to do. And I think we can do that. We've talked about it, we've met, we're going to talk again, but once we get that done, this will rectify itself next year, and that number will be 0.
Anything further? Any questions for Paul? Okay. And now we move on to the Assistant Superintendent's report. And Jennifer Baird.
All good things tonight. The first Flex Day we had was a huge success. We had parent-teacher conferences at EPS and EIS. I think I heard Mr. Scholl say in a meeting something around 95% attendance. I'm not sure from EPS. I'm not going to put Elisa on the spot right now, but that is phenomenal. I'm sure that it's right up there at EPS as well. I think it just goes to show that our families are so invested in our students and their well-being, their success. So a great day for EPS and EIS to be able to have those conferences. In addition to that, we had what's called PSYOP training for teachers with multi-language learners at EJHS and EHS. We now have close to 40 students in our district who English is not the first language in their home. And so that can present challenges in the classroom, especially for those students who do not read, write, or verbally comprehend English. So, and we have students at that level across the entire district. So we're working with teachers just like we would if they have special education students, they have high ability students, a special population of students. We're working with those teachers to provide additional tools to help them help our students who come from those multi-language homes to be successful. In addition to that, our administrators at EJHS, as well as our instructional coaches, our coordinators there, planned ghost rounds, and that's where our teachers went around throughout the building. They were observing other classrooms, what was happening, not necessarily during instruction, but just the environment that they saw. And then at EHS, it was a phenomenal day of learning there. They were instructional mini lessons based around our NASOT elements, our new Art and Science of Teaching instructional framework. Many of our teachers from EHS actually put on mini lessons that day for other teachers, so teachers teaching teachers, which is exactly what we want to see. So just an awesome day all around. And we even had a comment, and I'm not proud of this by any means, but I will tell you just how busy we kept the teachers, is that the high school teachers said, could we get more than 20 minutes for lunch on that day? So Jordan's back there shaking his head. That was the biggest negative that we had, was we filled that day so full, and a lot of really great compliments as well. So we will make sure next time that we get those lunches in there, because we obviously went overboard on our planning. So, but a lot of great feedback from our teachers that day for sure. This is one that I've been excited. We met with the high school earlier this week for their monthly HRS meeting, and Dirk and Amy Winkler had just sent out some PSAT scores. The kids actually just took this test, 9th, 10th, and 11th graders in October. I want you to see the 9th graders over the last 3 years. There is a lot to be excited about here. We've talked a lot about work that we're putting in at K through 8. We've talked a lot about our issues 5 through 8 in math and where we're seeing deficiencies. What I want you to see here is that our 9th graders for the past 3 years have increased these percentages across the board. I will say there's one little dip there from 24 to 25 with our English reading and writing benchmark, but I am not concerned about that at all, considering that we are 10% above the state average. So a tiny little drop there, but like I said, nothing that's concerning. What I want you to see is the number of students, the percentage of students who have met both benchmarks has climbed 10% in 2 years. In addition to that, when we look at math, which is an area that we're really focusing on in those upper grades, 5 through 8, it's exciting to see a 9% growth, and we are finally above the state average for our 9th graders in math. ELA continues to knock it out of the water and just climbs. So this is all good news. This is telling us that we are heading in the right direction. We're constantly looking at these different data points to see if they are giving us the same information, and this is confirmation for us that the changes that we are making, the work that we're putting in, is heading in the right direction. So I wanted you guys to see this because it's a big celebration across our district. We don't often get to see high school scores other than maybe SATs, which are also positive, AP scores, things like that. But this was a big one for us. So we'll keep diving deeper into this. And I know that I talked to Mr. Rentschler earlier. He's going to share this with the junior high teachers because this is a celebration of their work as well. So not just our high school team. Down below, some upcoming items. We are taking another team out to the Marzano HRS Summit. This is January 11th through the 14th, I should say 2026. I'm not used to writing that yet, so forgive that error there. We are taking 7 EIS staff members and 7 EJHS staff members. It's their turn to go this year. While they're out there, they will be receiving some good news, which I will not spoil that. That's on Dr. Sanders' report tonight. We also have the Teacher Appreciation Grant. The TAG Teacher Committee is meeting this Friday to create the application and determine next steps. So Megan Scott is leading the charge with that team. And again, our goal with that is for the teachers to take the lead on that. So she's kind of guiding that work and helping them determine what some of those decisions should be. And they're really leading the work as far as making sure that the decisions they make are in the best interest of the teachers for this. So we're excited to see what comes out of that meeting. And then we also have the teacher appraisal plan that'll be coming to you in December for approval. It's not normal for us to bring the TAP plan to you in December. We've been waiting patiently for the state to give us some guidance as far as when it is due, when we need to submit to them. We are still waiting patiently. The state still has not asked for our teacher appraisal plan, our evaluation. So we're not waiting on the state anymore. We'll be getting that group together here before the end of this second semester, one day after school. There are not big changes to the teacher side of things, but we have updated all of the rubrics. And by we, I should say Megan Scott. I can take zero credit for any of that. Megan has worked hours upon hours on this. She has updated every single rubric that we have across the district that is not a teacher rubric. So school counselors, school psychologists, literacy coaches, any role that is outside of a teacher, we now have a rubric that is aligned to their professional standards and also is aligned with what we created with the teachers in terms of reflection, growth, development, so that every single person across our district, no matter what their certificate might be in, will follow the same guidelines for evaluation. So it's a big step forward for our district. We're excited about that. So I'll bring that to you in December, highlight some of those areas. I'll send it to you before then so you guys can review that as well. It's a pretty large document. Our teachers will meet prior to that, provide any other feedback that they may have. But like I said, not many changes there for the teachers, and everything seems to be going pretty well this semester, more smoothly than it did on year one rollout, which is what you anticipate and hope for. So that's it for my side.
Thank you. I did want to implement a new rule that if meetings went beyond 2 hours, that the superintendent's report would be cut. But we did have a 10-minute break, so he squeaked in with under a minute. So we will have to.
Side, so that's good, yeah.
So we'll go to the superintendent's report.
Well, sure, you don't want to miss this. You know, we are all obviously very proud of our school corporation, but we're not just blowing smoke. There is some clear indicators of how much of a quality school corporation we have. One of them, we heard a report tonight about the marching band, not just a one-time state champion, but 5-time, unheard of. I got the pleasure last night of attending the Lilly Scholarship finalist recognition at Fountain Square over in Bloomington, and got to spend some time with 3 just wonderful young ladies, Bella Carson, Haley Patel, and Eliana Vagidis. Okay. And it was really a lot of fun. They had this little activity for the students, and I'll show the board sometime. But you kind of stood on this little pedestal, and they had this camera go around, and you could put props on. And I was so honored they came over and invited me to be part of that, and got to sit beside Haley and meet her parents. And so they are our Lilly Scholarship finalists, and so hopefully very soon we'll find out if one of our students actually receives the Lilly Scholarship, and we're looking for good news on that. Just special girls. If you haven't been to the Little Mermaid performance at the high school, it's just fabulous in every way. The students are talented. The stage, as the props are just costumes are just magnificent, and I know a lot of work goes into that. And I just want to, if anybody's watching live, and you haven't got your ticket, Friday and Saturday night, we're going to go see it again this Friday night, see a whole different group of students. So looking forward to that. And then, as you know, we've been working very hard in our school corporation last few years on high reliability schools. And we talked about the idea of earning certification at these different levels. And it was just kind of like a dream, a vision that we had. Well, that vision's turning into reality, because 3 of our schools have earned their certification for level 1, Edgewood High School, Edgewood Junior High School, and Edgewood Intermediate School. Edgewood Primary School is not far behind, and we said from day one that as each school works through these different levels of certification, don't be surprised if they're at different stages. They're all tackling their own needs, their own vision for their school, and what they want to do in the future. And so each school is given permission to work at their own level. Of course, EPS had a brand new principal and assistant principal this year, and so they're not far behind. We were meeting over there today, and they're just about ready to get their certification. So we'll be honoring those 3 schools, the high school, the junior high, and the intermediate school in Texas in January. Tomorrow is our next Edgewood Business Leaders Advisory Luncheon meeting at 11:30 right here in this room. If you have some time to stop by, board, please do so. We'll have plenty of food, and we'll have obviously a standard every business leaders luncheon and meeting. It's standard. We have some great students who give great presentations. So please come out to that tomorrow. And then 'Tis the Season is coming up December 13th and 14th. And so I think tickets might go on sale tomorrow or very soon. So be on the lookout for that. And I hear the 12 Pains of Christmas is making a return to the high school auditorium. And so I'm getting my jokes ready. So if you have any good suggestions for a dad joke, pass them my way. And I'm excited to get started on the winter sports season. And our athletic teams have just been knocking it out of the park. And so looking forward to a great season. And board, if you have time afterwards, and if you don't, that's okay. But if you have time, we'll take you over to the field house and the kitchen and take a look at it yourself.
Thank you. Seeing that the 12 Pains of Christmas will be back, I would suggest to Principal Ackerman that he gets Pepto-Bismol before the show, and maybe he'll be feel a little bit better.
I'm actually having knee surgery.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I am.
Oh. Oh, wow. So.
I was going to make a joke about being a method actor, but I'll say that.
You got a tough act to follow.
Yeah, a very tough act. Okay, and now we have RBBEA comments, and we have Brandy Abel here tonight.
Good evening. I just wanted to start by just wishing my best to Sarah Mobley. She's been a close colleague and friend for a long time, and I know she's going to continue to do great things in our profession. Sad to see her go. And then kudos to Megan Scott. We really appreciate the changes she's made to the teacher appraisal plan, the rubrics, just much more user-friendly. And then again, the continuous communication she provides going along with TAG. So thanks to Megan for that. And then finally, just in response to the calendar, that discussion, we did request, because again, those work days are utilized and well spent. Just for administration to continue to consider how they structure that first day of school, thinking ahead to things that could be held off later to provide teachers just that time to get ready before that first day of school. So I'm sure there will be continued discussion on that. That's all I have.
Thank you. And so board member comments, we'll start with Mr. Durnall.
Thank you, sir. Just congratulations to the band again. Fantastic. 4 times straight. Unbelievable. Yeah, I'm excited about the basketball, girls and boys and girls wrestling, gymnastics, and boys and girls swimming, diving. So, I was just thinking, sitting here listening to all this stuff, in August of 2000, I came on the board and I was really excited about it. And I'm still excited now in November of 2025. So I appreciate you all.
Thank you. Mr. DeMoss.
Just thinking about August 2000, it would have been a couple months after that the Marching Mustangs made their first appearance in the ISMA finals. And what they've done since then is truly remarkable. Yeah. I want to thank the folks for the donations. It's always appreciated. The Marching Mustangs are just incredible. I'm excited about the level 1 HRS certification at EIS and the junior high and the high school. I got to see kind of how that works on the ground. I got to do 2 more field trips with our high school students, one to IU Health and one to Boston Scientific. And I'm continually amazed by and so impressed and so proud of our students. They present themselves so well and represent our schools so well. And and as we go through the change of seasons, both weather and sports seasons, and once the band has gone to ISMA, now they've got the winter percussion and all the other stuff there. It's nonstop, but it's just so exciting and so fun. So that's all.
Awesome. Mr. Tucker.
Again, kudos to the marching band and those seniors at 4 straight years. That's amazing. And that anticipation, like Mr. Wells said, when they're waiting for that last call, that's exciting for those kids, and especially for the freshmen this year. That's probably the first time they've been in Luke as well, which is pretty cool. So the excitement for those kids. So thanks to the Teacher Association for working on the TAG grant. Hopefully that all can work out well and the application process goes smoothly. And kudos to to 3 of the 4 schools thus far getting the HRS level 1, and I look forward to EPS coming up next on that. So thank you.
Thank you. I can only just echo what everybody else has said, but I wanted to focus today and say that I'm thankful for all of you. I'm thankful for this board. I'm thankful for our administration. I'm thankful for our families in this community and our students. And you know, we've got so much to offer, and it's because we all work together to get it done. And so I'm just very thankful for all of you, very thankful for our council, very thankful to Katz and keeping us going tonight on this. So with that, wish you all happy Thanksgiving, and this meeting is adjourned.